Why, hello, you lovely little peppercorns. My name's Noa Lee, and welcome to some Banjo-Kazooie action. We're gonna continue on where we left off last week. I suddenly got thirsty. Hey, Live Coils here, Raichu Wisdom, College Ridgeway, how y'all doing? Hey, Noah, how was your week? My week was awesome. I did not expect to get that Super Mario Bros. 2 video done this week, but yeah, I did. It turns out it's actually been done for a while, but I kept wanting to add stuff to it, and I think I just needed some time away from it to actually pull the trigger on it. So yeah, I opened the timeline for the first time in like 4 months today, or this week, and I'm just like, you know what? This is done. I don't know why, why I want to add more, so. And my bottle's dripping on me. That's nice. So yeah, good week. As by far my largest video I've ever made. I'm quite happy with it. Turns out everybody else is too, because it was a big hit, and I'm glad because I'm gonna start working on the next one tomorrow. So pretty excited about that. I got that done, and then Console and Coffee's rolling right around. This is also the first week in like 3 years that the channel has actually been growing. It's growing slowly, but it's growing, and that makes me happy because it's been a long time since this channel has grown any. So yeah, I had a good week. How was your week there, Colin, and everybody else? Jimmel, it was pretty good. How's it going, Jimmel Dragon? Thank you all for the kind words in the comments on that video earlier in the week, by the way. I quite appreciate it. I'm glad you all liked it, because I quite liked it. And yeah, I think without further ado, let's move on over to some Banjo-Kazooie action here. We'll continue off. I played Zoop last. Because Zoop is the best puzzle game around. Or at least that's what they wanted you to believe. What the hell is... Oh. My controller cord got a little tangled here. Doing okay. Slow or negative progress on personal projects, but some good orcs must die playing done. Nice. Probably need to start over on a few things. Lishrug. Hey, that's the creative process there. I get you. I have started and stopped and restopped a lot of projects over the years, so totally get that. Had a rough start to the week, but I'm doing okay now. Oh, sorry to hear that, Live Coil. I'm glad it's turned out for the best, though, or worked out for you. Long week, feel like it would never finish. Dang, everybody seems like they had a rough week. I talked to a couple other people, friends and family, and nobody had like a truly bad week, but it does seem like everybody had kind of a rocky week. Besides me. I seem to have had a good week. Oh, Colin had an alright week. There we go. That's nice. Glad to hear it. Not much happened, but I quite enjoyed the Mario 2 video. Thank you. I enjoyed making it. I want to do more creative stuff like that in my videos, and I think I could create a video similar to that much faster, because much of what I was doing was a learning process along the way, and now that I know what I'm doing, I don't think it'll take quite as long. Oh yeah, I forgot we activated this last time, didn't we? That Zoop video, I'm disturbed by how sexual a lot of early video game commercial ads were. I know! Isn't that crazy? First clap of the day. All right. I know, it's like something about the 90s. Everything had to be like a sexual innuendo to, like, you know, grab people's attention. I just remembered. I'm going to... Pardon me for a second. I'm going to look up where that other honeycomb piece that I forgot in Treasure Trove Cove was, because we're going to need that later. I thought it was in the ship, but I didn't see it last week. Trove Cove. Honeycomb piece. As long as we're right here, I might as well grab that. Guide to the honeycomb pieces. There are 2 honeycomb pieces, according to IGN. Oh. Don't you love how, like, walkthroughs have to, like, explain, like, the concept of the game for, like, Okay, I got that one. Oh, right, it's on the box over by where Snacker's hiding. I remember now. Okay. Right. Okay, we're gonna go grab that quick. It's like walkthrough videos and recipe article, or walkthrough articles and recipe articles have to explain like the history of the game or the food you're eating, so they can get some sweet metadata action for Google search terms before they actually give you the information you want to know. It's very tiresome. Every time I look up a recipe or a game walkthrough, that's my experience. Week was fun. It's the weekend that really did it, weirdly enough. Oh, dang, that sucks. Yeah, that's when you're like trying to relax or like work on your, you know, personal projects and stuff. And I've definitely had weeks like that before, where the week was fine, but then the weekend was kind of rocky or trash. That camera. Yeah, it's like... Nope, not that box. Different box. Different box. Sega in the UK especially did a lot of sexual advertising in the early 90s. Yeah, like those dirty magazine things, like, you know, they have like, they're advertising the, which frickin' box is it? Oh. I don't remember what this box is. Speaking of innuendos. Unintentional, but yeah, they were advertising like the arcade pad, and they're like, the longer you play, the harder it gets, or something like that, and it was basically somebody jacking off the joystick on that pad. I know, that was, so I've been, with some other videos I'm not gonna spoil, just in case they don't end up being made, but some other scripts that I've been working on over the last couple of months have required me to like dive into some old retro magazines, and it's crazy how many advertisements back then had like a sexual innuendo in that. And yeah, it was weird, especially since, like, you know, at least in the US, like Europe's always been a little bit more lax with like sexuality than the US, but especially, where is this fucking box at? Dang, go away, Snacker. But, the hell was I saying? But yeah, even in the 90s, it seems like, you know, advertisers could get away with a lot of that stuff, even here in the US. I don't know where this box is. I suppose I should have read the IGN article a little closer. It's a box floating off the coast somewhere that has the thing I'm looking for. Oh my god, I am wasting your guys' time. I'm so sorry. I just want this honeycomb piece. The completionist in me is just begging me to grab this stupid thing. Maybe it is out here by this box. It's hard to tell with, like, the limited draw distance. Alright. I'm gonna say fuck it. We'll come back and get it later. Maybe I'll get it next week before we start playing again. This is ridiculous. Sex sells and sexual innuendo are funny for a kid. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did find it... I mean, I kind of find it funny these days, too, because I'm immature, but, you know, there's that. Especially Sega ads. I think you said it previously that you feel that they were sort of seen as the poor kid option. Well, their trashy ads kind of contribute to that. The one for that one 3DX ad. Oh yeah, mommy, what are those two Sega consoles doing, or something like that? And it was the 32X being inserted into. Oh yeah, duh. Yeah, fine, okay. I'm just gonna look it up. I'm just gonna end up wasting your time more if I don't. So I'll just. Honeycomb pieces, yeah. They're hidden well. No. Honeycomb pieces. Treasure Trove Cove. Alright. Oh yeah, now we're watching somebody else's video on my stream. Nice. Okay, I got that one. Well, that's the box with the... Oh god. I have no patience for video walkthroughs. Ah, I see. Yep. Wow. I'm surprised I ever found this honeycomb piece by myself. Because it's, like, way the fuck out there, so you kind of have to, like, swim out in shark-infested waters a ways before it will even, like, pop up. Did you ever play Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair? I felt it was a big improvement over the first game, even if it had a different perspective, 2.5D versus 3D. Just much better designed. No, I haven't. Also, hi, Chubbs Doomer. How you doing? No, I haven't. I think either last week or the week before, I was talking about how when it came out, it didn't appeal to me because I hated the first game so much. And now I probably, after seeing footage of it, I still probably won't. I mean, I'll probably play it someday, but it's basically Donkey Kong Country, and I don't like Donkey Kong Country, so it's like out here somewhere. No, I hit the edge of the screen. Okay, there it is. Jesus, I'm like, I just watched a video on where this damn thing is. Which is kind of where I thought it was, but the draw distance on this, like, where's it pop out of existence at? I guess you can see it from the shore. Oh, okay. I just wasn't right on the shore. Yeah, that draw distance kind of fucks you there. Okay. I don't feel so bad now. Anyway, we're going to Freeze Easy Peak now, because I think we basically finished Bubble Gloop Swamp, except for a couple things that are easier to do after you get the speed shoes. Correct? I believe so. That's what we're going to do anyway. So yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair. It definitely looks better. I've heard a lot of people say it's pretty good, but I just don't think it's my kind of game. And after, you know, being burned on the first game, drawing up enthusiasm to check it out has been kind of hard. I was hoping they would make another Yooka-Laylee, like, game like the first one, because I think the first one had potential. I just think they screwed it up hardcore. It could have been a good game, and I think if they would have made a sequel in that style, like, it could have been truly great, but yeah, I don't know. There's a Rayman 3 ad from Nintendo Power issue or something that had a sexual innuendo. I think I know what you're talking about, because I remember seeing a Rayman 3 ad in Nintendo Power and being taken aback by it when I was a kid. I guess I was a teenager when Rayman 3 came out, but yeah. It might have been the first time I ever heard of Rayman 3, actually, was that ad, but I don't remember what it was or what the context was at all. I just remember it being, I don't know, titillating to my young teenage mind, I guess. Good old N64, PS1 draw distance. Yeah, no doubt. Dang. It's funny how, like, I played this game a million times and I still forgot that was over. Let's see, I need to activate the thing, which is back this way. Come to think of it. Yes, I need to go back to Bubble Gloop Swamp area. I remember now. Paintings and such. I love the fact that Snacker's dialogue changes as he eats you. Well, Rayman in French is French after all. You're right, Rayman is French. So, you know. What the shit? I never noticed these banjos here. What? Ah, man, emulators are the shit. I never noticed that texture before. That is so dope. God, I feel like I'm playing a brand new game here. Wow, that's so cool. I'm probably the only idiot who never noticed that. Nintendo was usually good about selling maturity, but I think they got more lax by the early 2000s. Eternal Darkness and Geist being M-rated for GameCube games was a big deal at the time. Yeah, that's why it always surprised me that Conker's Bad Fur Day, it was a thing. Like, I can't believe Nintendo allowed that on their system. Like, GameCube era, if it would have been the GameCube era, it wouldn't have surprised me. But the fact that it, was on the N64, which was the family-friendly console of that generation, just blows my mind. Because there weren't a lot of, like, there were a couple, like, Doom 64 was, kind of bloody, but, not that bloody. And you had GoldenEye and stuff like that, but nothing like to Conker's Bad Fur Day levels of, sex and drugs and rock and roll and blood and violence. And where are these frickin'... Ah, the boots are over here. Damn it. I keep running into things. Why do I keep running into things? Speaking of emulators, how are you controlling the game right now? Xbox controller, it always PO'd me when a truly great... that truly great N64 controllers for emulators are so hard to come by. I am using my favorite white DualShock 4 controller. I am a big fan of PlayStation controllers. I can't stand Xbox controllers. They feel so wrong in my hand. God damn, Jesus Christ. We're off to a great start here. It's controlling fine, but as I was saying last week, like, this and most N64 games are so intricately designed around that weird-ass controller that controlling them with anything else is usually a little clunky. And this is a little clunky. It's not nearly as tight as if I had an actual N64 controller. And yeah, emulators don't handle USB N64 controllers well at all. I've learned that in the past. Alright. There we go, Freeze Easy Peak, which might be the best level in the game, right? I kind of like this level. It's a pretty good level. Conker was released in 2001, same year as the GameCube, and with GoldenEye, the developers were explicitly told to tone down the violence. Yeah, that makes sense. Again, for the textures here, I always knew there was something on the wall right here, but I never noticed it was the snowmen that throw shit at you until this playthrough. Man. Graphics don't matter, but game fidelity does. I fully believe that. The more I play. Crisp, clean video output is, essential. Graphics, I don't care. As long as they're decent looking, which these are great. Even by today's standards, I think these graphics hold up quite well. They are gorgeous. But clean video signal is necessary. I can't believe I used to play games on like RF modulators back in the day and with coaxial input and you'd have like fuzzy, like snowy static on your screen at all times, and that was just like what we lived with back when I was a kid. And AV cables were like such a gigantic step up from like RF modulation, but they still suck. But they had such a clean output in comparison that everybody's like, oh yeah, they're great. And then, like, S-Video came along and just completely got rid of that, and thankfully we went digital after that, because, yikes. Boing. Alright, now we're going there. Freeze Easy Peak is certainly my favorite level in the game. The Desert and Haunted House are good ones, too. Coaxial. That's how I used to play my NES top loader 2, or NES 2 top loader. Looked awful. Yep, and we didn't know any better back then. Oh, there's a Mumbo token over here. Hey, come poke him. That's what I said. Now we're going to Freeze Easy. The Freezy Pop level. Yeah, I think Freeze Easy Peak is my favorite level, thinking on it. Gobi's Desert's quite good. Mad Monster Mansion's pretty good. I've come to love Rusty Bucket Bay nowadays. And I've always liked Click Clock Wood. I know a lot of people find it to be tedious. I'll probably eat my words when we get around to playing it on stream, but I always enjoyed it at the time. I don't think there's anything in the igloo quite yet. Oh yeah, the kids, they want the presents. And there's a Mumbo token. Eek-em-bokem. Where's our presents? Our dad Boggy said he was fetching them. He's been gone ages. Good old Boggy. Yeah, there was like, speaking of like sexual innuendos on, growing my stomach, on like game advertisements. I shared something not too long ago that was, oh, it was like a Game Boy ad that was like more fun than a ferret down your trousers. Like, that was kind of a weird one too. Because that, not necessarily sexual in nature, but could be taken as such. Meep, meep, meep. The little bear sounding like Beaker from the Muppets. Nice. Oh, man. I love the Muppets. Old school Muppets is so good. Alright. I suppose we can go get the Twinklies out of the way, since this is like my least favorite minigame. Maybe I should kill the snowmen first. I should probably kill the snowmen first. Let's do that. And even then, graphical clarity was still different among different consoles. Like, composite looks fine with SNES, but the Genesis and Master System have absolutely horrible composite. Yeah. And then, ironically, the Super Nintendo's RGB out is fuzzy and looks like crap, but the Genesis and Master System's RGB is like crisp and clear. It looks great. That is true. Yeah, there was like very little standardization when it came to stuff like that. And then you have like the N64, like, no matter how, like, no matter what you do with the N64, like, you just can't get actual hardware to look decent. I've seen people like with those HDMI mods, those look okay, but they still don't look anywhere near as good as an emulator does. But then, like, a PlayStation through RGB looks almost as good as an emulator, if not as good. Ah, oh, right, I haven't learned the dive bomb thing yet, have I? Right. Thankfully, it's right here. Let's do that. And I think it was just the way Nintendo, or the N64 relies a lot on interlacing. To, like, you know, because I think it has a higher resolution, because everything runs in, like, either, I think it's 480i or 240p, whereas the PlayStation could, I think, could output 480p, maybe? Maybe it's only 240p, I don't remember. But emulators, like, basically re-encode the N64 game, is my understanding, which is why they look so much better. No, I didn't want to pick that up. Okay. Alright, time to kill some snowmen. That's one. Oh, oh, overshot it. Dang it. Who made this game? This is Rare. Rareware, whatever you want to call them. There we go. Oh, hey, there's a grunty button there. Yeah, I have. Before I kind of switched hardcore into, like, using emulators this year, or this past year, I kind of, like, I was trying to, like, RGB mod, like, all my retro systems, at least the ones that I played regularly. And that, I mean, they look good, but then you still have to upscale them with something like the FrameMeister or the OSSC. And the OSSC is not too expensive, but a FrameMeister is expensive as fuck because they don't make them anymore. And I have one, but I bought it when they still made it, and it was still like $400. It was ridiculously expensive. And it looks nice, but I'm just, I don't know, I'm kind of the opinion, like, does it even matter anymore? There's a honeycomb piece. When emulation has kind of gotten to this point that it's just so good, like, I don't know. I used to be a diehard purist and would only play on like actual hardware, but it's become so, and that's why, because it used to be like so convenient, or so much more convenient for me to like play on actual hardware and stuff, but now it's just not anymore. It's tedious. I have to like, set stuff up, and capturing gameplay is kind of a pain in the ass on, and it's always been a pain in the ass on consoles. Camera, what are you doing there? It'd be nice to have an HD Unreal Engine remake of this. Anyone else with me? No, I'm not. I am, I hope it gets made for the people that want it, but I won't. I'm not into it. As I said last week, I am pretty much against graphical remakes. I don't see them as necessary. I feel that, although I might eat my words next week when the Dead Space remake comes out, because it does look pretty good, even though it's like a shot-for-shot remake of the original game, which I'm playing through once again. I played through this week just so I could refresh my mind before the remake came out. So maybe it'll be good, but I don't know. I just don't understand. I guess I don't understand the appeal of making a game that already looks fantastic like this any different. I don't see the appeal of like the Spyro and Crash remakes. They look good, but I still think the originals have like a superior aesthetic to them personally. Like, they're just so intricately designed around that graphical style that, I don't know, mixing like modern HD graphics with like old school gameplay just feels wrong to me. That's how I felt when I played the Demon Souls remake. I just didn't care for how it looked in comparison to the original. I'd just rather have like a high resolution version of the original any day. That's just me. I recognize I am in the vast minority in that, but I don't know. To me, it's like spitting in like the face of video game preservation, because people will always like think that, unless the remake sucks, obviously that's always the thing, but if the remake's good, people will always like call that the definitive version of the game, and then you kind of forget about, we kind of forget about the original. And I'd rather just see a sequel in high definition on the Unreal Engine if you were gonna do something like that. Like, by all means, do that. Or, the hell am I, what was I gonna say? Or I don't know, if you're gonna do that, like, at least include the original version of the game. Like, that's the least you could do. Or do what the Halo remakes did, like, allow you to switch between both versions of the game on the fly. Like, that was such a cool feature of the Master Chief Collection. Obi Golden Gamer, hello, how you doing? Welcome back to you as well. Hi, Tanish. Yes, we're talking about remakes again. I have a soapbox to speak upon. I will die on this hill. Remakes suck if there's no reason to do it. Don't just graphical, I also mean for new hardware. Well, I mean, like, why not just port it to, like, that's another reason I'm against remakes, is because once a remake comes out, the company will never re-release the original ever again. Like, maybe Nintendo would, but they don't do a lot of remakes anymore. But, like, the original version of Demon Souls will never be re-released because the Demon Souls remake was a hit. And that, to me, is a tragedy, because the original Demon Souls is one of the most historically important video games of all time. It put From Software on the map. It launched, Hideo Kojima's career. Or not Hideo Kojima, Hidetaki Miyazaki is what I meant to say. The other Japanese auteur. the Japanese auteur that I actually like his work of. But, Yeah, Hidetaka Miyazaki, because he was like an accountant before that. And I don't know, I just think it's a shame that, like, you know, to leave that version of the game behind, especially when, in my opinion, it's the better version of the game. But we're never going to see it again. It's always going to be tied to the PS3. It's always going to be expensive because they didn't make that many copies of it. Emulation is your only option if you want to, you know, play it, really, which sucks. Romello James, how you doing? Well, data goes away after a while, and it also doesn't become compatible to newer technology, so you need to make those. Okay, so let me be clear here. I'm not talking about... I'm not against re-releasing games. I quite the contrary. I think that every game should be brought over, you know, Banjo-Kazooie should be brought over every generation to a new Microsoft console, or hopefully PC. You know, I believe that companies should keep their games alive and keep, you know, keep re-releasing them, and remasters are fine. You know, I don't have a problem with, like, the remaster of Dark Souls that they did that, you know, made the graphics better and, you know, made it so it ran at 60 FPS and did a couple of quality of life changes and stuff like that. But they kept the original look of the game, and they kept the original feel of the game, and functionally speaking, it's the exact same game. It's just an updated, more easily accessible version of the game. What I'm talking about is completely remaking or re-overhauling the look of the game from the ground up, redoing every single asset, rewriting all the code, and doing all that stuff, and then having that be a replacement for the original version of the game. That is what I'm against. I think that just spits in the eye of video games as an art form, because like I said with the Demon's Souls remake, now that that's out, Sony will never ever re-release the original version of Demon's Souls, which means it's basically a lost game unless you own a copy on the PS3 or you emulate it, and PS3 games are notoriously difficult to emulate, so that's not an option for a lot of people. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely, you should port it to games to new hardware all the time. That's just me. The Spyro remake is very good, though. Yeah, that's my point, though. The reason it's good, so they're never going to re-release the originals, and now the originals are just going to be forgotten. And that's my problem with remakes, is not that we shouldn't do them, not that we shouldn't, you know, I prefer the look of the original Spyro, but I understand a lot of people think that the remakes look better, and that's fine. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying I know what I'm doing here, because clearly I forgot. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do remakes ever. I'm just saying if you're gonna do them, you should include the original game alongside it and keep it alive for future generations, because I don't know, I don't believe that higher fidelity graphics and stuff like that makes a game better. I don't think that the facelift that Crash and Spyro got made the games better. They're just different in my mind, and different enough that I don't think they're as good personally, but again, that's just me. LCA, what was it called again? I missed a whole bunch. I'm sorry, I didn't keep up with chat here. I've been ranting. Tanish said it best, just we're talking about remakes again. Doesn't the Crash remake add an extra brand new level? I mean, sure. Maybe? I don't know. I never played the Crash remake, personally. But yeah, and that's another thing. Like, yeah, if you want to, like, you know, add an extra level, or like what kind of like what Sonic Mania did, like it brought back some of the cut. I miss this Mumbo token. The cut brain fart. Cut Blue Spheres levels from Sonic 3. Like, that's kind of cool when people do that. Dude, not every company is Sony. You're right. Nope, you're absolutely right, Eric. I agree. I don't know. I guess I'm just old hat, and I care too much about, like, old games, I guess. Hey, what's up, Owen? How you doing? I love Banjo. I can see the appeal of remakes of a game from the 5th gen, like Crash, Spyro, Pac-Man World, etc., but something like The Last of Us Part 1 and Life is Strange, where they're barely different, is just dumb. Yeah, and okay, here's another thing. The Resident Evil remakes, like, like, not the one they did on the GameCube, but the one they did recently, where it's like a reimagining. Yeah, do that. I'm fine with that. If you're gonna, like, you know, remaster the game and recast it in, like, a whole new light, yeah, by all means. I'm specifically talking about just upping the graphics and then pretending the original version never existed, which is, you know, not every company's, you know, Sony. You're right, Eric, but, you know, it's most companies are like that, though. I think that's just that obsession with graphics that, you know, everybody has. My take on it, why not both? Re-release the original or make the modern game a new setting. Orcs Must Die 2 has some of the original levels. They work fine with the new setup. Yeah, I think that's the ideal version is, you know. So, I mean, I'm of two minds there. Is like, yes, go ahead, remake games and stuff like that. I'm saying I personally don't enjoy them. That's point number one. Point number two is if you're gonna remake them, release the original game alongside of it. Like, why not? Like, you know, when Zero Mission came out, like, after you beat the game, you unlock the original Metroid. Like, that's how it should have been. You know, it's a remake of the original Metroid, so you should include the original Metroid in there as well. Alright, I need to hit these buttons here. Clearly, I should make a video on this topic, because I seem to be quite passionate about it. Ah, no. Nice job there. Think about all the re-releases of games like Doom. Yeah? I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm just sick of consoles in general and, like, platforms and console generations and stuff. That might just be the crux of everything I'm saying here, is that I'm just kind of sick of the industry surrounding video games. Maybe I've just been doing this too long. I don't know. I feel like we're at this point in games, though, where, like, we were, like, back in, like the 60s and 70s in film, where, like, everything from, like, the, you know, 20s, 30s, and 40s was getting remade, and then, you know, that was, like, the definitive version. I guess I'm feeling like, I'm feeling like those old film snobs that are like, please go watch a black and white movie or something like that. I don't know. I just think there's a certain charm to, like, this graphical style that gets left behind when you remake it, and I need to turn into a walrus, don't I? I need to turn into a walrus. The GTA remake is hilariously terrible. That was like, I was talking about that earlier today, or thinking about that earlier today, rather. It's better than what Grand Theft Auto remake did for me. Yep. Crash Bandicoot 2 OG version is better than the remake. His jumps are a bit too short, and it's so noticeable they never re-released the original again. Yeah. See, and I'm not even a Crash fan, and that's kind of... I've heard people say that about... I don't want to go up here. What am I doing? I need to get off this remake topic here because it's distracting me from playing Banjo-Kazooie here. Gets me all fired up. Yeah, sassy. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard people say that about the Spyro remake, too, is that, it feels different. And maybe that's fine. I don't know. Like, again, this is all just my own opinion. I'm saying it's just my opinion. I get you and me, and I'm kind of over the console and just play whatever I want at this point. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, too, is... I don't know, like, the last generation of consoles, like, just kind of proved to me, like, how samey, samey Sony and Microsoft were, and I don't know. It was like Sony and Microsoft really leaned hardcore into, oh, I'm too fat for this, right? I gotta become a walrus. I don't know, just kind of Sony and Microsoft last generation really leaned hardcore into like shitty business practices, and it's hard to get excited about their hardware. Where am I going? I need to get a flight pad and go to Mumbo's thing. That's what I need to do. I need to quit faffing about here. Jeez Louise. I second a video on your opinion on remakes. Alright, I might have to do that. It'll probably have to be an off-the-cuff video just because I got like a million other videos in the works right now. And scripting something like that. Well, I don't know. That might not be too bad. Maybe I should script that one. I will say this with remakes, including the recent RE remakes. Nice. Why don't they include the originals? Playing the older games is hard for some people because of needing to plug in old consoles. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, you know, if you, it's not that hard nowadays, but 20 years from now, it's going to be really difficult to like track down and play the original without doing emulation. Which again, I'm all for. I think you should emulate all the time. Fuck game, fuck game companies. The Last of Us remake quotes also cut the multiplayer, but I agree. Include the original version with the remakes. The file size for a game like the original Spyro is pennies. Yeah, that's another reason too. Yeah, make a video on the stopping your remakes over re-releases. All right, we're gonna do that. Might be off the cuff. I got a small review video that I'm working on for this Friday, and then probably won't be able to do a video on the Dead Space remake, at least not right away. We'll see how, but that would be a good thing to like reference in this video that I'm now foreseeing. It's a question of identity too, what something is and what isn't. These remakes take the spot of the original when they don't have the identity of the originals. Graphics are part of it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about there. It's this replacement thing. By all means. I mean, it's not like remakes are anything new. We've always been remaking games. You know, especially like JRPGs. Like, you know, how many times has the original Final Fantasy been remastered or remade in some capacity? You know, I can think of at least, once on the Game Boy Advance, and I'm sure they've done it a second time. Or like Final Fantasy VII. There's a good remake right there that I don't understand at all. But at least they're trying something different with that, and they're reimagining it, and I don't think anybody... Actually, you know what? The Final Fantasy VII remake, as much as I probably won't like it, because I'm not into that. I'm not into modern Square Enix games. It might be like one of the remakes I could get behind, though, because it's so different from the original that I don't think anybody considers it a replacement for the original game. I don't even think Square Enix considers it a replacement for the game. And I guarantee you they'll still re-release the original because that's what people fell in love with and people keep buying it. And they should. Let's do some sledding here. Let's do some sledding here with this cheating-ass polar bear. I swear to God, this guy cheats so hardcore. Ooh, I almost fucked up there. Ooh, hey! It's not like that's distracting at all, Boggy. Ooh, hey yourself. Fuck off. God. Why did they make this so tight? Jesus. I can only go so fast. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the worst part. Oh, there we go. I have fallen in the water there so many times over the years. Oh, come on. Ugh. I'm gonna have to do this again, and my thumb is slipping off the thumbstick. This does not bode well, folks. Oh God. Oh no. Get up there, get up there, get up there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, there we go. Woo! I fixed it. Phew, you were too quick. I was gonna have to redo that. Yeah, I played with my thumb like halfway off the thumbstick that whole race. All right. Getting jiggy with it. The polar bear is terrible father to his 3 kids. Yes, he is. Okay, I typically prefer original games to their remakes too. I'm gonna catch up with the chat here. I feel like I missed quite a bit. Y'all have a lot to say about remakes as well, and I appreciate it. We're having a good, if slightly heated discussion because I'm being sassy. It's fine. We're in good company here. We can all get sassy if we want to. Where was I? The sad thing is these remakes are the only ways for people to experience them. Yep. Like the only way I'm playing Nier is through the remake. Yep. Well, and that's the same thing. You know, my friend Matt, like, you know, he's a big fan of the Souls series, like I am, and he never played Demon Souls until the remake, and he didn't like it. Not because of the graphics. He kind of said it's interesting because he kind of said the graphics were what were keeping him going in the game, but I don't know. After playing it myself, I kind of feel like the high-resolution graphics of the game gives a false impression that the game is more polished than it actually is. And it's kind of a jarring experience. Like, even for somebody like me that's played through the game a bunch, it kind of just felt really rough, even though it was the same game that I was already used to, but the graphics kind of tricked my brain into thinking it was more advanced and, like, the controls weren't as outdated and stiff as they actually were. It's a really strange experience, personally. I typically prefer the original games to the remakes too, like how Silent Hill 2... Oh, like I love Silent Hill 2 and will continue to play the original even when the new game comes out. The remake, I should say. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's one I hope that they, you know, if they're gonna... There's an interesting point right there. Remaking Silent Hill 2 makes a lot more sense than other ones because they lost the source code for the original game. So they can't re-release the original game. It's impossible. The HD remake, or the HD remasters we got on the PS3, the reason they were so broken and buggy and didn't have, like, you know, fog in them and everything is because they had the source code for the beta version of the game, but they didn't have the source code for the final version of the game because it was lost for whatever reason. So there's a game that, you know, a remake kind of makes sense on. But again, I hope they go the route of, like, you know, I hope they go the route of, like, the Resident Evil remakes where they're reimagining it, so it's not just the same thing. Like, do something different with it. I think everything's gotten really stale after the last big graphical jump. Now I think it's time to make games that look artistically more appealing than realistic. Yep, I agree. No way, they're just a brand new experience with nostalgia sprinkled in. Yeah, realistic is getting pretty tiring, especially after seeing a video on the animation of Sonic games and then seeing Sonic Prime mop the floor with everything animation-wise. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII is a good example because they are also selling the original separately on nearly everything. Lots of good points here. Whoa! There's been 3 remakes of Final Fantasy 1. The first remake on the Wonder Swan. See, I didn't even know that one existed. Oh, okay, that's the one that was on PS1 and GBA. Oh, right, the PSP version and the recent Pixel remaster. I forgot. I understand, but when has anyone played the original Prince of Persia game over the remake? Okay, here's another thing. There's a difference between a remake and a reboot. So, like, the original Prince of Persia is a completely different game from... Well, wait, now I'm confused. Which one are you talking... Which one did they remake? I don't remember they did a reboot several times. The Sands of Time was the first time they rebooted the series, and then they did that other Prince of Persia reboot in, what was it, on the PS3 or something? I don't know. But I mean, yeah, that's a different game though, because the original Prince of Persia is a cinematic platformer, and all the reboots have been like 3D action games. Like, that's a completely different thing, unless I'm overlooking what you're talking about there, Romello. I might be forgetting a game in the Prince of Persia remake. Imagine Bubsy 3D, but as a remake. Yes, like, why not? That's the other thing. Why not remake bad games? Like, make bad games good. Bubsy 3D could be a decent game if somebody, you know, cleaned it up a bit. But nobody wants a remake of Bubsy 3D. That's the problem. Alright, I am a walrus. I need to go to the cave. I am the walrus. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Have I played Rayman? I have. Off-topic question. That's fine. I think we've said everything we need to say about remakes. Yeah, I've played Rayman. The original Rayman, I played a little bit. It was pretty good. I played a lot of Rayman 2 and 3 when I was a teenager. Rayman 2 is probably my favorite in the series. I do like Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends are also really good games. I tend to prefer 3D platformers than 2D platformers, but I do really like those games. Hey, Wakos, how you doing? Hey, dude, hope you're doing well this afternoon. I am doing quite well, even though I'm getting sassy about remakes once again. It's a topic near and dear to my heart, apparently. Hope you're doing well too, my dude. But yeah, I quite like Rayman. I would love to, like, one of these days, I'd love to do a video on Rayman 2 especially, because I really like that game. Rayman 3 is kind of weird in some spots, but I remember really enjoying it when it came out. And I'm trying to think if I played any other Rayman games. Definitely played 2, 3, Origins, Legends. I played the original. That might be it. I don't think I played any other Rayman games. Rayman is an underrated series, in my opinion. It's something that, like, Rayman 2 and 3, like, when people talk about, like, 3D platformers, they get overlooked by everyone, including me. Like, I never talk about them when I mention 3D platformers, but maybe because they're a little bit more action-oriented. I don't know what it is. Rayman 2 is so solid, but Origins and Legends are my favorite. Yeah, I can see why. Well, yeah, that's the thing. So, like, I feel like... I don't know why I like Rayman Origins and Legends, but I don't like Donkey Kong Country. Because they're, like, a similar genre. They're, like, the same kind of game, but for some reason I just don't like Donkey Kong Country. This is always blown my mind. I don't think I need to be a walrus anymore. Alright, we're gonna have to go to Gobi's Valley at some point so I can get the speedy shoes. I was thinking that was in this level, but it's not. Anything over here? Yeah, Mumbo Token. Nice. Why did they remake the first Prince of Persia several times? Well, oh, they did remake the first Prince of Persia several times. One with more colorful pixel graphics, another horrible-looking one reusing Sands of Time assets? Oh, God, that sounds horrible. I didn't know that. I think he was talking about the first original Prince of Persia also got a remake. Yeah, I didn't know that. I never heard of that. There's a present. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I really like the look of the original game, personally. Oh, here's a good question for you. Would you guys also, in my opinion, the first Jak and Daxter game is very underrated? Yes. Oh my God, totally. Yes. I mean, I love all the Jak games, but the first game especially. The first game is so good and so underrated as far as, like, 3D collectathons go. Okay, so here's a question for you. Because perhaps some people won't consider them remakes. I kind of do, but like the Super Mario All-Stars versions of the Super Mario Brothers trilogy, like Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3. Like, are you saying that because of the graphical enhancements for that, no one would ever want to play the original version? Because that's what I'm... If I'm understanding the question about Prince of Persia correctly, that seems to be the same question. It's like, god damn, these are short. Holy shit. And I guess it just comes down to taste at that point, because I would absolutely rather play the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 3 over the Super Nintendo version, because I prefer the NES look. And I also feel that the NES game controls better, because it's a different physics engine, so they feel slightly different. Maybe I'm just used to... Oh, I'm gonna die. I don't want to lose my note score here. Once I saw a video games portrayal... Oh, once I seen a video games portrayal by Sonic Boom, Bubsy was just copying Sonic. Anyone familiar with or confirm it? I mean, yeah, Bubsy was trying to copy Sonic's... Oh, I need to hit the switch on it. I need to get some frickin' health before I die. That's what I need to do. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but because they think like Sonic started the mascot platformer. Oh, God, I almost died. I did die. Fuck. But they think that Sonic started the whole mascot platformer craze of the 90s, but it was actually Bubsy, because Sonic came out, and then Accolade was like, hey, we want to do that too. And so they made Bubsy, and then surprisingly, Bubsy was a hit. And so a lot of other companies took notice and realized, oh, you know what? There might be something to this mascot platformer thing. And then, like, suddenly everybody was doing it. So it was only after, like, Accolade and Bubsy, like, proved that, you know, that was something that people wanted, that the mascot platformer craze took off. Which I find to be insane. I mean, I like the original Bubsy game. I don't think it's great, but it's a lot better than people give it credit for. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not surprised Donkey Kong Country and Rayman kind of have a different approach to doing things. One of the reasons why I don't like comparing games from the same genre. That's true. It just blows my mind, like, you know, from a personal standpoint, like why I don't enjoy Donkey Kong Country, but I do enjoy the Rayman Origins/Legends games, so. I'm making my own indie video game like the first Jak and Daxter game because because there's a lot to do with that game style in modern game space. Oh, yes, please do. Email me when that is done. I will buy it. Even combined with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. Wait, so Bubsy is not a literal copycat of Sonic? No, I don't think so. I mean, they were clearly trying to do what Sonic was doing. Oop. I gotta recollect all the notes again because I done screwed up. Also, why is there cherry pie filling all over this? Ah. And I gotta get the Jinjos again. Alright, let's go up and get these notes on the scarf before I forget them. Still helps when you have something to compare it to. For example, Sonic's original playstyle was meant to directly oppose Mario. That's true. He was created solely for marketing. That's actually why Robotnik/Eggman was actually going to be the main character for a while. It was like originally he was like a fat man in pajamas in like a dream world, running through like levels like Mario. But then I can't think of the name of the guy who created Sonic, the character. Nobutu Uematsu, was that it? Or no, he's from... No, he works for Square, right? I forget. Whoever created Sonic, the character, basically said, this is better than another fat guy running around. And he was right. Oh, you know what? I totally overlooked Jiggy here earlier, didn't I? Boing. There is one right here. Okay, there we go. Well, Donkey Kong Country is good, but it's better than it's better than Donkey Kong 64. Yeah, I mean, I don't like either really, but I'd rather play Donkey Kong Country than Donkey Kong 64. So, boing. Too bad. Boing. There's another present. We got the flight pad. Then we'll go get these notes. The music in this level goes a long way towards my enjoyment. This is such an enjoyable track. And I always like snow levels. Snow levels are good. Okay, okay. Hey. Let's go for a slide. Or not. That's fine too. I believe I've done that more times than I care to admit. It's not often... Oh, it's often not the first to become the best. People forget about Winsor McKay. They know Disney... Oh, Felix the Cat is obscure. Mickey Mouse is a global brand. Yeah. To be honest, the end results are much better than... Ow, I keep doing that. Are much better than what they tried initially with Sonic's development. Having hills and loops was a smart move. There wasn't anything like it, I think. Yeah, I don't think there were any games like Sonic at the time. It was pretty revolutionary for, you know, for the 2D platformer. And 2D platformers really weren't all that old at the time. Like, you know, there were a handful of 2D platformers prior to Super Mario Brothers, but not many. The only ones I can think of are like Pac-Land and Jump Bug. I'm sure there's more, but Super Mario Brothers is basically where the 2D platformers started. And to think that just like what, 5 years later, 6 years later, Sonic came out when it wasn't even that old, like and pretty much revolutionized the genre. That's pretty impressive. Do I have all the presents yet? I don't think I do. Boing, boing. I have a tablet, and after a while, YouTube tends to glitch and show nothing. Just twisty telescope. What do? I have no idea. Twisty telescope? What? Dang. Try turning it off and back on. Refresh. All that stuff. Okay, I think we're almost back to where I was when I died in terms of stuff I collected. Although I probably got to go back to the Walrus Cave, because I think there's some notes in there. Well, there's a Jinjo in there for sure that I can't get as a walrus, so let's go do that. Except I don't want to go this way. Oh, more notes. What are your notes? Here we go. Ah, camera. Sonic Game by... Sonic Game played Designy who is kind of dated and not that well done, but was the standards of the time. Did I read that right? Ah, the bear. Oh, right, yeah, Pitfall and Pitfall 2. Good call there, Colin. I always forget about Pitfall. Ah, now you can see a nice ice key that you can have for free. Man, I wish Rare would have got to do the stop and swap thing like they wanted. Collect all the stop and swap in one game and quickly switch your cartridge out while the system's still turned on. That would have been so cool. But alas, it was never meant to be. Alright. What do I do with this tree? I forgot. I think I gotta fly through that star a few times. Is that right? Then we can do the twinklies. Sorry, my keyboard is messing up, so that's alright. Well, maybe I don't fly through here? I could have sworn. Oh no, I gotta do that later. What the hell? I forgot what you need to do with the tree. Maybe I do just need to hit the box. I tried that earlier. No? Ground pound? Ground pound? Ground pound. Okay. Where are the twinklies? Completes the mini game, then the Jiggy appears in the star. Right, I remember now. Probably 3 times. Yeah, it's almost certainly 3 times. Oh, and we're off to a great start. All right, I gotta do this thing. I always hated this mini game. Fuck. Come on, there we go. Okay. Right. That was close. It was. I noticed that when I play platformer, soundtrack is one of the most important aspects of games, you know. Yeah, it's amazing how, like, music can, like, completely change, like, the look and feel of a game. Oop, I gotta hit that a few more times. It's always 3 times. Oh, God. Do, 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 do. All right, time to go through that star. To light the holiday indifferent tree with colored lights on it. 1. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go up a bit. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna do it again. 2. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna do it again. Or we're gonna do that. There we go. All right, now we gotta go in the tree. Oh God. Ooh. I like the bells. That's something I appreciate so much about Rare games is like how the music changes contextually based on what's going on in the level. Like now there's like bells going on when I'm under the tree. It's so nice. Sonic Lost World is everything opposite of what Sonic originally did. A run button, 8 worlds with similar themes to New Super Mario Brothers. This really feels like partially like a copy. Well, Actually, no, I never did play Sonic Lost World. I think I bought a copy of it and never touched it, come to think of it. I don't know, that game looks kind of interesting. I appreciate them trying something different, but it doesn't look very good, personally. Ah, yes, there's a bunch of notes in here, too. Tasty. Let's get all the notes before I die again. Yeah, especially in Banjo, when every action you do, the music changes. Oh, it's so great. Probably use some feathers, too. Feathers are good. Yeah. Alright. What do we got? 7. I think I still need to get the... Oh, I still need to get 3 Jinjos? Dang. So I still need to get Jinjos. And then I need to give the presents to the kids. Race Boggy one more time. So that's it for that. Did I get all the... I think I got all the honeycomb pieces in this level, too. Yeah. And then I'm missing 15 notes, which are somewhere. Alright. Gotta find those notes. I'm gonna have a certified seltzer moment here. Makes the game more satisfying. Absolutely. It's context sensitive. Clever. Adaptive music is wonderful. Seen Sonic Prime, his eyes are a lot rounder and not high up. They're basically like Sonic Underground, and he doesn't look like he has a permanent scowl. Yeah, I've seen clips from Sonic Prime. Again, I probably won't watch it because it doesn't look like it's the kind of show for me, but I do really like the animation in that show. It looks really nice. Tails especially, like Tails and like his like, you know, robotic getup and like one of the worlds, like that looks really well. That's animated so nice. Jak and Daxter feels like it took inspiration from Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, I'm sure it did. At least Mario 64 for sure, but if you give the presents to the kids, then that makes you their father or their uncle. Probably. Well, I mean, technically, Boggy got the presents for him. So he's not entirely a deadbeat dad, but he kind of just dropped the ball when it came to, like, you know, delivering the presents to his kids. Lost World is mediocre at best. It's not awful, but it really does things against what Sonic is known for. I can at least give Forces credit that they tried at least again. Still was also a mid-game. Yeah. I mean, you all know that's kind of how I feel about most Sonic games, is they're pretty mediocre. But I don't know. I appreciate experimentation, I guess, but oh, I did have all the presents. I wasn't sure if I had all the presents or not. So just watch John Carpenter's The Thing with some friends. My goodness, the effects are insane. Oh my God, yes. Oh, I love The Thing. It is such a good movie. There's an example, not to bring the topic back to this, but there's an example of a remake that replaced the original. Which is unfortunate because the original, The Thing from Another World, is also a really good movie. It's old and outdated, but I think John Carpenter's The Thing is the better of the two, personally, but they're both great. And the special effects in The Thing are, God, they hold up so well. Like there's something to be said. Like, I'm all about practical effects and everything, and The Thing is like, you know, par excellence for practical effects. Would you do a video on Jak and Daxter and say why the sequels suck? I don't think the sequels suck. They're not as good as the original, but Yeah, no, wait a minute, Boggy. No, I don't have the shoes yet. I don't have the shoes yet. Yeah, just fine. Yeah, take your frickin' hollow victory, you ass. I was just going up there for notes. Oh, no! Wait, am I, like, locked into this? What? What happened? Oh, I probably said yes when I should hit B. Ugh, so unfair. Too easy, I'm giving up. Okay, come on, buddy, try again. No, I don't want to try again. Yeah, I would like to do a video on Jak and Daxter someday. I would like to do one on the whole series, but I mean that's kind of true of every game. What the fuck? I am hitting B. Let me leave. Let me leave. Okay, Jesus. Trapped into a freaking infinite loop there. I see why people don't like Jak 2 and 3 though, because they're basically watered down Grand Theft Auto combined with like basic third-person shooter. I think they're fun. I like them, but yeah, the original is the superior one for sure. Ah, right. There's the rest of the notes. I need to go find a flight pad to become a walrus. Must become a walrus. Ah, there's a Jinjo I missed. I think there's also one in Mumbo's hut, come to think of it. God damn it! You suck, snowman. And now I can't get up here. There we go. Egan Bokum. Oh, I also missed that one. Weirdly enough, Jak X, the racing spin-off, is way better than the sequels. I mean, that's also a really good game, but I don't know if I like it more than Jak 2 and 3. Am I in the minority here? I thought people generally liked Jak 2 and 3. I don't know, I always liked them. Granted, I played them when they first came out, so maybe that made a difference, but I don't know, I always thought they were pretty good. There's too many cutscenes for my taste, I guess, but that's kind of the trend that Naughty Dog went in after. But then again, there's too many cutscenes in the original Jak and Daxter for my taste too, but not as bad as 2 and 3. I don't know. Jak 2 especially has some really unique levels and some interesting level design in some spots. And it does have some bullshit though. I can think of a few pinch points in the game where, you know, you're fighting a boss or you're locked in a room with a lot of enemies and it gets a little tedious and tiresome, and I can think of some mini games that are kind of a pain in the butt, so I could definitely see why people don't like those games, but I don't know, I always enjoyed them. I do like Jak and Daxter's sequel story, but they also have problems too. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't big on like any of the stories. Like, I thought the story in all of them was fine. Like even the original Jak and Daxter, which gets a pass because, you know, it's a lot more cartoony. So you're obviously not supposed to take the story that seriously. But in Jak 2 and 3, they want you to, you know, they want you to take that shit seriously. And it can get a little tiresome at times. Does really have some nice in-engine cutscenes, though, come to think of it, at least in terms of graphical fidelity. I feel like we've been on this level forever. Have we been on this level forever? Where's the other Jinjo? I'm missing a Jinjo. I got the one that was in here. I don't think there's anything down here, because that was where that honeycomb was. Jak 2 and 3 might have too many cutscenes, but at least they were skippable, unlike the first Jak. Fair. I do remember that, come to think of it. Make those cutscenes skippable, people. It's a necessity. Jak 2 has no checkpoints in most of the levels. Ah, yes, I do remember that now that you mention it. Yeah, I do remember that being kind of a pain in the ass. I don't understand why I didn't play through Banjo-Kazooie, probably because of the inconvenient N64 controller. Not sure. Yeah, I don't blame you. Like, I grew up with the N64 controller, so I don't find it all that weird, but I definitely, if you're younger and you never experienced it back in the day, or even if you're older and you just never had an N64 back in the day, it's a weird one. Where is this other Jinjo at? Oh, you know what? I bet it's up on the snowman. I think it's up on the snowman. The things I appreciate about Jak 2 and 3 is the story and characters are well written and the graphics and animations are so good. Who skips the cutscenes of the games? Those are kind of significant to complete it the first time. Well, yeah, but you should make them skippable always, you know. Because if they're not skippable, then on subsequent playthroughs you can't skip them. I suppose you could do, like, some games have, like, you know, a New Game Plus you can skip cutscenes and stuff, but maybe I want to start a whole separate file or something. There just shouldn't be so many cutscenes in games. Like, don't rely on that stuff. Beating a dead horse with that one, too. Love this baked lighting here. Looks so good. Alright, I need to find another Jinjo, who's probably on Snowman. I think he's on Snowman. And then we're going to Gobi's Valley. Snowball. They're so good for a PS2 games, at least. Yeah, I think the cutscenes and the graphics and the Jak games they hold up. They hold up super well. Okay, I got that. Ow, I got that Jinjo. Pretty sure he's up on the snowman. Yep, there he is. Your last one, right? Yep. I think that's everything in this level except that one I can't get. Correct. All right, we're going to Gobi's Valley after 53 minutes. Dang. You people have patience for forever long RPGs, but not cutscenes. Drags you episode. I don't have patience for a lot of JRPGs. It's just a quality of life thing. Like, if you're... I don't mind watching cutscenes the first time, unless they're, like, really long. Like, if it's a Kojima game, I'll tune out. You know... I play games to play games, not watch movies. I'm not saying the cutscenes don't have their place. They absolutely have their place in games, but... Just do them right. I didn't want to do this. Didn't want to do this. Damn it. Alright, whatever. Gobi's Valley time. As the camera freaks out. Speaking of RPGs, how's Lunar going? I think I lost interest. I haven't gone back to it yet. It just, I don't know. I think I've moved on and it's been so long now I might not go back to it. At least not this playthrough. Just kind of a shame because I was going along at a pretty good clip on that, but yeah, I think, I don't know, I just kind of lost interest in playing it and started wanting to play other games, like Metroid Prime, which I played through, and then Prime 2, which I played through, And then I played through Dead Space this week. And yeah, a bunch of other stuff. I'm also trying to keep up with like new releases this year, because last year I kind of like, I don't know, I missed a bunch of like major releases, and I don't like that. Boo boo. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll go back to Lunar at some point. I might just get the PS1 version, because I've seen some gameplay on that, and you guys keep telling me that it's the better version, and it looks better too. And I mean, there's another example of a remake, you know, but it's not really a remake, I guess. It's kind of like they didn't really up the graphics all that much in the PS1 version of that game. They're not that much different. They're just a little higher color gamut and higher resolution, I think. I'd rather go through cutscenes than monotonous hour-long gameplay. Games don't need to be longer. Oh, that's absolutely true. They could, yeah, a game should only be as long as it needs to be, for sure. There's plenty of games that are like an hour long that I love. And I need to go this way to open up Gobi's Valley. I mean, some games need to be long. Like I'm glad The Witcher 3 is as long as it is, but I don't want every game to be that long. You know, 100 hours is a lot, and I feel like most games can't maintain interest for that long. You know, Elden Ring got 100 some hours out of me, because it was really good, and The Witcher 3, same thing. And that has a lot of cutscenes, which, although, come to think of it, The Witcher 3 is pretty good. It doesn't have very many long cutscenes. They're all pretty short and sweet. Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing? There's also the PSP version, Lunar Silver Star Harmony. Really? I didn't know that. Would Gruntilda be good in a rap battle? I mean, probably. She's really good at rhyming. Kinda. I mean, she'd be enjoyable to watch in a rap battle. I don't know if she'd be good at it. Let's talk about cutscenes. Does anyone know why devs have the controller vibrate in cutscenes? But yeah, it's to make sure you stay awake for their boring-ass long cutscenes. That's my theory, anyway. That's why Kojima's famous for having vibrating cutscenes. I don't know. I don't actually know if cutscenes vibrated that. The one I can think of that really sticks in my head is in Pina Park in Super Mario Sunshine, when you fight the Mecha Bowser thing. That cutscene that shows it like coming out of the water, like it vibrates your frickin' GameCube controller so frickin' hard, it's ridiculous. Shit. That's like the first time I ever remember like a cutscene vibrating. No, that's just Brentilda. I'm pretty sure I remember all of those things, so. I put the controller down, but then it vibrates off the table. Yep, definitely had that happen before. I think a game with 10 to 15 hours is long enough for me. Yeah, again, I think, you know, a game should be as long as it needs to be, so, you know. I can think of games that I really enjoyed that last, like, no, I didn't want to hit that, damn it. I can think of games that lasted like 15 minutes and they were quite enjoyable, and, you know, I can think of games that lasted 100+ hours and they were quite enjoyable. It just depends on what the game is. I do think that a sweet spot for me personally is about 10 to 20 hours. It has to be a really good game for me to put more than 20 hours into a game. And that might be why I put down Lunar, because I think I hit 20 hours on it. Maybe not, I don't know. I wasn't that far into it, so. But it was slow, and as I've said, I don't really like traditional JRPG combat, so. It was one of those games that felt a lot longer. Meanwhile, I've been playing Dead Space this week, and I forgot how action-packed that game is. And the game says I put 8 hours into it this week, but it sure doesn't feel like it. It feels like I just started playing, and I'm almost done. I'm on the final chapter as of last night. Another frickin' banger of a musical track. Oop. Somehow I hit his opposite nostril from here. Oh. There we go. Cutscene vibrations are for immersion. Some single-player games even have vibration option for additional controllers for a friend, like Child of Eden and Tetris Connected. Oh, really? Huh, I didn't know that. Boop, boop, boop. Watch some of Jay's reviews. He's pretty good. I've watched a couple of his reviews in the past. Might take a look at his videos on Jack. Kind of waiting for Johnny Versus on that series, though. He just did Ratchet and Clank. Oh, nice. What the hell? I can't think of his name right now. Retropolis Zone. Have you ever watched any of his videos? He has one, he has a series called Quickies Don't Cut It, where he has like a hour-plus long reviews of games. He has one on the original Jak and Daxter that's very, very good. I watched that a few years ago, and I quite liked it. Can recommend. Oh. I kind of fucked it up. I always or sometimes put my controller down when they show a cutscene and get scared for life if I don't pay attention. Yeah, maybe that's like the litmus test for if your cutscene's too long, is if people put their controller down. I don't know. I don't typically put my controller down during a cutscene unless it's a really long cutscene. I think the biggest problem with cutscenes, though, is not so much using them, because, again, I think they have their place, and I think they can be used well, and have been used well in plenty of games. I think it's the over-reliance on them to, like, I don't know, for an enjoyment factor. I feel like that's kind of what, like, Naughty Dog does with, like, their, you know, recent games, and I mean recent as far back as like the original Uncharted, and like the 2 recent God of War games. Like, they spent so much time on the cutscenes and the story in those games that the gameplay ended up being like pretty basic. I'm not gonna say bad, because they're fine, but you know, the gameplay could have been so much better if they would have spent more development time making the game as opposed to making the cutscenes in between the gameplay. And there's something that I never liked about cutscenes is you don't see this as much anymore. I feel like most developers have gotten a feel for this, but get out of here. That's not what I wanted to do. I feel like most developers have realized this, but back in like the 6th and 7th console generation, so like GameCube through like PS3 era, it was very common to have the pattern of you'd have a gameplay section, then you'd have a cutscene, then you'd have a gameplay section, then you'd have a cutscene, then you'd have a gameplay section, and they were roughly like, you know, equal length. Like the gameplay sections were all the same length, and the cutscenes were all roughly the same length, and it just got to be such like a predictable pattern that I think it's kind of fallen out of fashion and people don't do it as much these days. Now it's like, you know, you'll have a few hours of gameplay that maybe has like a handful of short cutscenes in it, and then you'll have like one big cutscene or something like that, but then you won't have, you know, another big cutscene for a while. And that's a lot better. That's a much better way to pace out your game, because, you know, sometimes it's nice after, like, you know, like a really tough section in a game to have, like, you know, a bit of a breather to watch a cutscene or something like that. Cutscenes can be used well for pacing. Gonna get the notes. Gonna get the notes. The Sphinx looks like Goofy Lamau, yes. As I put my controller down while watching cutscene, I at least want the option to turn on vibration just for the cutscenes. Name one game where that is an option. I can't. There's plenty of games where you can turn off the vibration, for sure, but not just during a cutscene. Metropolis Zone, you watched? Yeah, him and I used to be, like, YouTube buddies. We used to, like, not really help each other with our videos, but we used to, like, chat back and forth about, like, videos we were working on at the same time. Yeah, we haven't talked in a while, but yeah, he's a nice guy. I think he had me read through that Jak and Daxter script before he filmed it, actually. It was either that... Nope, it wasn't Jak and Daxter. It was a Sonic CD one. Yeah, I helped him with his... Well, I didn't really help him. I read through his Sonic CD script before he went through it, just to make sure, you know, make sure it made sense. But I don't think I had any notes for him or anything. Hooray, memory matching. You think I'd remember where stuff is at, but I don't. And also there's a mummy in here. Is Kazooie here? Nope, that's Banjo. Is this Kazooie? Man. Oh, okay. There's Banjo. You know what? I'm just gonna start this over. We're just gonna start this over. Okay, so we need 2 rant videos from you, one on remakes and one on cutscenes. Then whenever chat brings them up, you can just be like, "My vids," and then we can move on. Not a bad idea. I agree with that. Jak and Daxter does have an identity crisis, but more for the standards of the time, and the first game didn't make as much as the Crash series, but they started to try to innovate trends. Yeah, that was like the era of the gun. Like, I don't know if you noticed that, but it seems like, I mentioned this in my Spyro 3 video, that it seems like after 9/11, like, everybody had to have a gun in their game. Like, you know, that's how we got Shadow the Hedgehog. That's how my thinking is, like, you know, Nintendo saw this trend of the gun, and, you know, they wanted to have that in the next Mario game, but they didn't want to have a gun, so that's how they came up with Flood and the water spraying thing for Sunshine. But then, like, you know, Jak and Daxter had a gun, and Ratchet and Clank, like, you know, same thing, like, but that was more, Insomniac said they didn't think there was anything more they could do with, like, you know, standard 3D platforming, so... Delicious cranberry lime seltzer. I do like this idea of just having some rant videos on hand for whenever we're talking about certain things. I like keeping out those vibrations because reasons. Don't ask. I feel you, Romello. I feel you. Invincibility, run the mummy? Does that kill him? I don't think it does. I'll try it, but Nah, I don't want to try it now. I don't think it kills the mummy. I think you have to... The idea there is, like, they wanted to make the memory match game more interesting. It doesn't really work. This is kind of a cop-out design here, if we're being honest. Holy shit, it does work! Well, he comes back, doesn't he? I feel like he comes back. I may have just admitted that I went 20 years without knowing you could do that, so don't mind me. Was he down here? No, that's Banjo. Is he down here? Stupid memory match game. This, Simon Says, and... Wait, is that where you're at? Yeah. This, Simon Says, and jumping through hoops are basically developer speak for we have no fucking idea what we're doing. Here, have some boring ass shit that you've done a million times. Dang, I can't believe you could kill the mummy. Why have I never thought to do that before? Thank you, Fungi. Jesus. Damn it, where's Kazooie at? Over here? Yes. Honeycomb. Honeycomb. Here? Yes. And red feather corner? Corner? No, that's a no. Woo. Couldn't you flip the tiles and drop the mummy down the shafts or something? No, you'd think you would be able to, but doesn't quite work that way, unfortunately. He does, if you flip the tile when he's standing on it, he gets stunned. I never realized you could just straight up kill him before. Jeez, I've been doing this the hard way for like 20 years. Experiencing vibration for the first time in cutscenes is also scary, though, because as a kid, I wasn't expecting it to do that, right? The whole gun thing isn't just Shadow, but Sonic Adventure had Gamma, yep, and Sonic Adventure 2 had mech stages with Tails and Eggman. True. Rareware was always kind of bad at mini games. Ukulele, of course, the worst, but DK64 had variety. Yeah. Sonic Adventure 1 came out in '98, long before 9/11. Yes, it did. We're more talking about games that were, like, in development around that time and stuff, but yeah. It does seem like the gun trend, you know, really became a thing after 9/11 is kind of what I'm saying here. And I think that was just, you know, I think it was just like people were moving on to shooters because military games were hot after 9/11 for obvious reasons. And it just seems like the mascot platformers of the time, oops, I didn't want to do that. The mascot platformers at the time and the developers of them just kind of seemed like they saw that the dominance of the 3D platformer and the mascot characters was kind of waning, and adding guns and more action stuff, I don't know, kind of seems like the developers go, okay, well, why are kids not buying our games anymore? Oh, because they want guns. So we're gonna add guns to pre-existing characters, but really it was just, you know, kids and teenagers of that time and adults of that time that played games were looking for gritty, realistic, you know, we gotta save the world from the terrorist type games. Not everybody, obviously, but as a trend, that certainly seemed to be the case. Wow, depth perception much, Jesus. I'm gonna die again. Get up there. And go get some honey. Come here, bee. There we go. Bit of a risky maneuver there. We're not gonna take chances with these bees here. I need some honeycomb now. Huh, you can actually kill the bees with that, too. Nice. Sup, lonely Goomba? How you doing today? We almost had DK with a realistic handgun. Shake my head. What? Did we really? What? Oh, shit, I know what you're talking about. I remember that now. Yes, I've seen that. God, that would be great. I just want to... It kind of reminds me of this game I've had on my Steam wish list for a while now, which is, It's called Squirrel with a Gun. I don't think it's out yet, but it's literally a realistic-looking squirrel with a gun. It probably won't be a very good game when it comes out, but I've had it on my Steam wish list for like a year now. I don't know if the developer will ever actually finish it, but I don't know. The idea of a squirrel with a gun just sounds funny to me. The original DK64 also has realistic guns, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. That's right. And then they ended up changing it either by Nintendo mandate or otherwise. Who's to say? Probably Nintendo mandate. That's right. I've totally seen like images from old magazines where, you know, it's early screenshots of DK64 and like, you know, Diddy Kong's got 2 pistols. Oh, good times. Before they change it to cartoony coconut guns, which, to be honest, much better design choice. I mean, certainly aesthetically more pleasing to see Donkey Kong characters with, you know, coconut guns and like orange bombs and stuff like that than realistic arsenal. Although, might be a nice juxtaposition if they, like, you know, had a level where, like, you know, a plane fell down and Donkey Kong and the gang just, you know, had access to a whole bunch of, like, US military weapons or something. I could see that being a nice little fun thing, too. Excuse me. Yeah, he isn't lying. It was in the beta. I completely forgot about that. Actually, thinking about it, Sonic has had guns since 1996 with Fang the Sniper. Yeah, that's a good point. In Sonic the Fighters, and even then, Fang had a pop gun in Triple Trouble, and that was 94. Yup. It's almost like they were really trying to appeal to the American audience back then. Weird. Yup, Rareware presented Miyamoto an image of DK with a shotgun. Perplexed, Miyamoto quickly sketched DK with a coconut gun. Oh, what a great story. I love that. Apparently when the head of Nintendo saw DK with a gun, he came up with a coconut cannon. Nice. I was pointing out that Sonic Adventure 1 wasn't the 9/11 times that guns trend. Yeah, we got you, bro. During playtesting, they realized that their target audience was mostly playing GTA. A lot of people were playing GTA at that time. That game was taken off. Ah, yes, the Tomb of King Sandybutt. I'm gonna have another certified seltzer moment here. Oh, shit. I kind of lost interest in 3D platformers once they started getting more gun focused, like Ratchet and Clank, and the Jack games ended up like that too, really. Yeah, I kind of consider them like a different style of 3D platformer, but I definitely know what you mean, because I don't enjoy that style of 3D platforming nearly as much as like Mario or Banjo-Kazooie style. Without Miyamoto, we wouldn't have all the memes with the coconut guns. Right. Agreed, we all know what happened with Shadow. The DK crew with fruit guns is more fun and less cringe. Yeah. I guess the Shadow game was an attempt at that too. Yeah. God, they were trying so hard to make like Shadow edgy. Like, am I alone in this? I don't feel like I'm alone in this, but Shadow was not that bad of a character in Sonic Adventure 2, right? He was, you know, edgy and dark, but he wasn't like meme levels of edgy and dark. He was actually a pretty endearing character in its own weird way in Sonic Adventure 2, but yeah, they kind of really ruined his character after that. Especially in Shadow the Hedgehog. And man, just the gunplay in that game sucks so hard. I forgot how to... Is this the way? I think this is the way. Yeah, this is the way. Survived. That was probably the fastest I ever went through that. He should have stayed dead in Sonic Adventure 2, honestly. Yes! I agree! Like, he had such a perfect character arc. I think he'd be, like, a beloved character if they would have, like, you know, kept him dead. But he's so marketable. Yeah, I remember when Sonic Heroes came out and, like, Shadow was back. I'm like, well, wait a minute, he died in the first game. Anxiety music. That's a remake we need. DK64, but Donkey Kong has a 45 caliber sniper rifle. Nice. Did you know that an early design of Shadow was going to have him missing an eye and holding a knife? I did not know that. I also don't know why my throat is tingling right now and I gotta keep coughing. Ugh. I have a theory. Knuckles' betrayal went down the drain because of Sonic X. Yeah, I haven't watched enough Sonic X to comment on that too much. I do remember him being kind of a doof. And it does kind of seem like that's when he started being a doof, now that you mention it. I know, he was always gullible. Even the Sonic event, or Sonic 3 Sonic 3 manual says that he's a gullible person, but so that's always been part of his character. But he hasn't really been stupid, and he's kind of become stupid. Oh yeah, I want to go this way. Wait, I don't want to go. Yeah, I do want to go this way because Gobi's over here. The poor camel who sounds like an imp from Doom. I think the problem isn't actually the idea of Shadow having a gun, it's because of the characterization, like you said. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. Oh, Jesus. God dang. I'm getting the scratchy throat, unfortunately. It's okay. We'll fight through it. Oh, right. I do that later. I want to do this now. Ta-da! Yay! I saved the camel. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, it is really. Dan Green makes Knuckles sound like Clancy Brown. I don't know who Dan Green is. I'm assuming he's current voice actor of Knuckles, based on context. Shadow also says bad words, which is so laughable. Try gargling the seltzer water you're drinking to clear your throat. I'm having like a muscle spasm in my throat is the problem. It's getting better. Oop, it's getting better, but thank you for the tip, though. You think Knuckles could have pulled off cursing? He sounds like Clancy Brown already. Why not? Yeah, I see that. Good night, Raichu. Thanks for coming out, bud. Have a good night. I think if you give a character a weapon, you have to come up with a clever way of incorporating it into the gameplay and also the plot. Yeah. They shouldn't just be... you should just make a character called Gunny McGunface, and he has a gun for a face, and he likes to shoot things, and design your world around Gunny McGunface. That's what I say. Should probably get this honeycomb piece up here before I forget about it. Eh. And I should probably go get those speed shoes, since we're gonna need them. What am I doing on health? I could use some. Bye, bees. Ow. Not what I wanted to do. Dan Green voiced Knuckles from Sonic X to Black Knight. Ah. Wasn't Dan Green also the voice of Kaiba? Also, with that Raichu vanish. Throws down Smokebound, disappears. Ah, Grabba. Ner. Whoa, there's some graphical glitches around that. Weird. It's like on grass now. Oop, wrong button. Oh my god, dude, there's actually a noir anime where the detective has a gun for a face? Really? It's played completely straight and it's awesome. Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm so down with that. Wait, isn't there like a game with a talking gun that spits out self-aware jokes and mostly meta jokes? I don't know if Knuckles is necessarily coded to be black. Oh, I missed something there. I know in recent years they give Knuckles rap music, which is kind of kind of racist, but it's probably unintentional. I mean, I'm definitely keyed off of that. Yeah, I don't know if they were trying to, you know, hint that Knuckles is, you know, supposed to be black, but they were definitely trying to give him like a street edge with the rap music, it seems, which probably was Japanese developers not really understanding Western and American culture, and they probably did it without meaning anything, but looking at it a little more critically, it's a little questionable. Yeah, it's a little questionable for sure. Yeah. I remember being very surprised by that in Sonic Adventure 2. Like, why does Knuckles have rap music? The funny thing is, like, I always thought those tracks in Sonic Adventure 2 were like like really bad when I was younger, but now I kind of dig them because they're like really cheesy. I don't know, Pumpkin Hill, man. It's kind of a banger. Get up there. There we go. Yeah, what is the name of that anime, Live Coil? It's called No Guns Life. Mother's Basement calls it Dumb and Deep. Ooh, nice. I didn't say the rap songs are bad, but I like them, but they did give him rap music because he had dreadlocks. Yeah, it might be something to that. Yeah. Make him look more Native American than black. That is interesting because, yeah, they definitely in Sonic Adventure 1, the Echidna tribe very much had like a Native American vibe to it, but then in Sonic Adventure 2, it does kind of read thinking on a little more like Japanese developers associating dreadlocks with certain groups of people and not really, you know, not really understanding culture that surrounds them. And I don't know, it's hard to blame them for that because, you know, they have such a like isolated culture compared to like the West. Like, there's not a lot of... Oh, I might have to come back for all these notes, actually. There's not a lot of, intermingling of cultures in Japan. It's pretty... I don't know, pretty one note. Ah, crap. I suppose that's true of a lot of countries, actually. It's, you know... Europe and the US are kind of exceptions in that regard. Alright, let's try this again. I definitely think you're right, though, that it's a questionable thing, for sure. But I mean, I do really like the rap music they came up with for those. It's cheesy and fun. I'm gonna have to come back for that note. And that one. Oh! I guess I'll get the notes now. Yeah, the timing is tight on this. You're right. It wouldn't be so bad if, like, you didn't slide whenever you stopped there and slide right over the hole. Well, I needed to get those notes anyway, so... No harm, no foul. It doesn't help that they, like, stop me and then have the timer keep going. Alright. We got this time. Probably. Rare was, like, really tight with a lot of their timing. Oh, man, maybe we don't got this. There we go. Oh, are you kidding me? Son of a bitch! That's true of a lot of Rare stuff. Like, they really like to give you just enough time to do things. Oh, right. Good call on the jumping corners. Oh, no. I think this is the most trouble I've ever had with this, to be honest. You can save time on the slope by jumping corners, but you'll probably do it save time. Do it this time anyway. Nope, apparently not. Here we go again. Fourth time is a charm. I should have jumped right there, because then I could have... Gotta think. I think that's the secret right there. Okay, there we go. Chases. We got it now. Could people just stop using cheesy because it literally means nothing? Just a meaningless buzzword people say when anything cares to be sincere? I disagree. I think it's a pretty apt description for that concept that people are trying to denote. I mean, what else would you say instead of cheesy? I don't know if it's a buzzword or whatever you said. I don't know, you say cheesy and, like, everybody knows exactly what you're talking about, and that's kind of the idea of of why people use certain words. Why am I... Oh, okay. Maybe I should open the frickin' door before I try to collect everything. That might be a good idea. Oh, maybe I should get this Mumbo token. You could totally miss that Mumbo token, can't you? Wait, what do I need to do in here? I forgot. Oh, I just need to grab the Jiggy. Duh. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. I missed my clap. I almost ran into a mummy. Humba Wumba was redesigned in nuts and bolts anyway, so probably feel like that. If they remake Banjo 2, they should revamp Humba Wumba because, yeah, absolutely. She's, yeah, that one's not as, like, Knuckles is a little easier to forgive because it's very much reads like Japanese developers, not really understanding the, you know, understanding what they were doing, but Rare is a English company or a British company. they should have known better than to have Humba Wumba like that. You know, her saying like things like "heap big trouble" and stuff like that. It's pretty it's a little offensive, yeah. I think they could still keep her Native American, but yeah, Brob's remove the feather. Actually, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Humba Wumba was redesigned in Nuts and Bolts anyway, so I don't remember what she looked like in Nuts and Bolts, to be honest. I'm probably the only one who isn't interpreting much into the Knuckles topic, and I'm not discussing about skin color as much as I suppose as our others are. Cliche? I don't know if cheesy means the same thing as cliche, though, because I suppose you could interpret it that way. I guess when I say cheesy, I mean, like, you know, like on the nose, kind of like, you know, understanding that it's a little goofy, but also has some charm to it at the same time. Whereas cliche is more like, you know, something that we've seen a million times. Something that's been done to death. I know that the Crash series abandoned Papu Papu because he's a stereotype of indigenous people. Ripperoo because he's a negative depiction of mental illness. Really? I didn't know that about Ripperoo, but I did hear that about Papu Papu. Yeah, I don't like Humba Wumba. Mumbo is okay because he has a skull face, more of a monster than a human, you know? Yeah, and I think that's the difference there is, like, Mumbo is... He's not a stereotype. He is kind of like every shaman from many different cultures kind of rolled into one. You can't look at Mumbo and say that he's, like, you know, representing a specific group of people like you can with Humba Wumba. She's very clearly Native American, and she's very clearly a Native American stereotype at that. And yeah, so I think you're definitely right about Mumbo. Like, you know, I suppose you could say, like, you know, he's disrespectful to cultures that have, like, shaman, like, rituals and the idea of shamans, but that's something that's existed all over the world in many different cultures and many different groups of people that I don't think it's really a problematic thing. You know, Sonic Adventure developers went to South America and seen Mayan temples and stuff to design echidna culture in Sonic's world. Oh, yeah. Yeah, did I say Native American earlier? I meant Southern American, like, yeah, like Aztecs, Mayans, and stuff like that. I mean, they do kind of have, like, a Native American vibe to them, too. It kind of seemed like they were just going, like, North and South American, like, native peoples kind of, like, rolled into one when they were designing that. I don't think that's problematic, though. I think that was pretty... At least as what I'm remembering, that seemed, you know, again, not referencing a single individual group of people or anything like that, but more just, you know, more like the aesthetics of, like, their structural design, which again is a structural design that has been seen all over the world. Like pyramids, you know, are not anything, have been something that humans have constructed all over the world for millions of years. Well, maybe not millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years for sure. Nah, maybe not that long. Civilization is only like 5,000 years old. What am I talking about? I'm talking out my ass. I'm not a history buff. I am a video game critic. All right, I need to find a flight pad. Let's go back to the remake remastered topic. I don't know, I got pretty sassy earlier. That might be why my throat's sore. Anyone else find it strange that Capcom is the only company porting their bad games to modern hardware like DMC2 and RE0? I didn't know they did DMC2, really? That is strange. Good for them. God, Devil May Cry 2 is a bad game, but I'm so glad they're re-releasing it. The world should not forget about Devil May Cry 2 and its badness. Sorry about that, Gobi. You didn't know DMC was bad, too, was considered bad until now? I had the same experience, but it was like 10 years ago. Because when I first played it, I loved that game, and then a bunch of people told me it was bad on like the Screw Attack forums back in the day. So I went back and played it, and I'm like, oh my god, they're right. This game's awful. Oh, crap. DMC 2 has bad review scores. I just looked. Yeah, that was the thing. I also didn't know that back in the day. When I was like 15, I got a PS2, and I got Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3, and I played through them in order. I loved the first game, and then I loved the second game, and then I really loved the third game. And then, yeah, like I said, I went back and played the second one after people told me it was bad, and I kind of agree now. It's been a while. I don't really remember why it was bad, but I remember my second playthrough just thinking it was god-awful. And I was kind of blown away that I liked it the first time I played it. Where is nearest flight pad? It is on top of the Sphinx's head. What makes the devil cry? I don't know, but he may cry. Has the devil actually cried? We don't know, because it's Devil May Cry. He may. Alright. Let's go through this thing here. Summon all the hidden rings. Sonic and the Secret Rings, which in my opinion is the worst Sonic game. Just throwing that out there. Maybe not the worst design, but it's definitely the one that made me the most angry. Sorry, I had to leave. I'm back. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, Owen. Welcome back. We're apparently talking about remakes again and re-releasing bad games. It's fine. We're just treading old ground. It's fine. My throat is definitely doing better, but it's still not great. We're gonna power through though, because we're gonna beat Gobi's Valley today. Ugh. Mark my words. Hopefully I don't hit the wall and crash land. Ah, nice. Have you played the Klonoa games? I have played the crap out of the first game. That's it. Only joking, mortal. We only give you this. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I really like the first Klonoa game. I really want to play the second one. I'm probably gonna buy the remasters that were released on Steam recently for Klonoa 1 and 2. And as everybody informed me a few weeks ago, there's like 1 million Klonoa games on the Wonder Swan I never heard of, so definitely want to check those out too. I would love to. I had the same realization of DMC2, but instead with Sonic Forces. I thought it was okay on my first playthrough. Was told it was bad, then replayed it and realized that, yeah, it's kind of bad. Yeah. I just thought it was mediocre, which in my opinion is worse than bad. At least with bad, you know, bad games are usually interesting and there's something to talk about at least, but mediocre games are just kind of tiresome. I'd rather have a colossal failure any day than just a middle-of-the-road game. A devil may cry, it'll just make them a little bitch. I was quoting specifically this one. This one Dark Souls animation made by, I think it was Plague of Gripes is the name of the guy. He has this thing where it's like, "What's wrong, Seath? Is it because you're a little bitch?" I don't remember the exact phrase, but I love that animation. It basically explains Dark Souls' story in hilarious animated fashion. Sonic Forces isn't as bad as most people think, in my opinion. It's a reasonably polished game with some decent level design. It's just inferior to what came before. Yeah, I just didn't like it at all. I thought the level design was pretty boring, personally. I think it would have been better if you could have, like, if they would have stuck to, like, 1 or 2 playstyles. Like, Classic Sonic, they really just gave up in Classic Sonic's levels, in my opinion. I wasn't big on Classic Sonic's levels in Generations, but at least they were tolerable. They were, like, I don't know, again, they weren't really bad in Sonic Forces. They were just kind of there. They didn't really do anything interesting. They were just, didn't really fit with the rest of the game, and I don't like it. I'm trying to, come on, get in there. Kind of. Let's do that. There we go. Capcom cares about their series. They acknowledge... Oop, I gotta climb the snake. Hold on. There we go. Capcom cares about their series. They acknowledge there are good and bad games. This should be lauded. I wish Konami, Nintendo, etc. did. Yeah? Last mainline Sonic game before Forces was Lost World. Was it really? I guess it was, wasn't it? I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, but I mean, Forces is like the 4th 3D boost game, arguably the worst, but I still had fun with Forces, to be honest. Yeah, I just never liked the boost formula in general. Again, as I said before, I'm glad there are people that like it. I just don't think I'll ever understand the appeal of it personally. I feel like Generations did it the best, but I'm still not big on it. And I guess that's fine. Not every game needs to be for everyone. Nor should they try, because that's kind of how we end up with mediocre games. And as I said earlier, mediocre games are worse than bad. That was kind of like where I was at with Sonic Forces, and why I don't like it is because it was, in my opinion, mediocre. I would have rather it be like bad. Like, I haven't played Lost World, but it sounds like Lost World's pretty bad according to the recent chat. But that seems like I would have more fun with that game because it's at least experimental, and I can appreciate a game that tries so hard and fails so hard. Bah, that's it. I'm leaving this desert to find some place nice and quiet. I thought he said something about going to the volcano level, though. Maybe not. So cheesy for me is something that sounds dumb, but surprisingly works well for some reason. You can have the weirdest lines, but the execution can make it sound good. Copied this too much. Yeah, I like that. Cheesy is like a bit of camp, a bit of cringe, and a bit of heart. Ooh, I really like that. That is a great way to describe it. A bit of camp, a bit of cringe, and a bit of heart. I'm gonna die here. Oh God, why did I do that? Shit, now I gotta get all the oh, God. Fuck. Oh, what was it? It was 90. I was 8 away. Son of a bitch. Well, shit. What do we got left in here? Besides having to collect all the notes. Oh, that was like it. Damn it. And what other Jiggy? What Jiggy am I missing? Probably the Jinjos. Cool. So there's that. Forces levels are way too short. That's the main issue for me. I definitely agree with you on that. I think I said that in my review I did back when that game came out. Was it has like the same design as Sonic Generations, but the levels are like half as long, so they never really get a chance to come into their own like Generations levels did. That's kind of what it seemed like to me. Like, again, the core gameplay isn't to my taste, but I definitely feel like they could have been decent if they were a little longer. And I think they could have done that if they hadn't tried to do, like, you know, we gotta have modern Sonic's levels, we gotta have classic Sonic's levels, we gotta have playing as your OC's levels, we gotta have playing as your OC and Sonic's levels. They just tried to do too much with that game, I think. Honestly, I think they should have just had you play as your OC and Sonic for the whole game, because I think those were the best levels when you were, like, doing the tag team stuff. I enjoyed those levels the most anyway, but that was, like, what, 10% of the game? It was a small amount. Okay, there's totally notes in this thing here. Oh, God. Camera, cooperate, please. Come on. Where did we get there? Oh, I didn't cut that one corner earlier. I might not make it. Okay, there we go. Woo! Mummies. Oh, I missed something. I'm just trying to get the message to me, even if it seems too spammy. Yeah. I'm trying to focus on... if I don't focus on Banjo-Kazooie, then I die like I did. Ah! Goomba Camp is also a useless buzzword because the likes of Adam West Batman meant to play up the absurdity of its chosen medium. I love classics levels and Generations. Sure, they aren't that accurate to the classics, but they aren't that different. I also love how they play around with the camera in those stages. Yeah, I can appreciate the different... definitely the camera play is nice in those. For me, the controls just feel too stiff, and I'm not a big fan of like 2.5D aesthetic, to begin with. It just kind of always looks cheap to me, and it just... I don't know, the controls never feel as tight as like a true like 2D game. Maybe it's just how people utilize it, I don't know. Classic levels and forces are terrible, though. Terrible physics and controls and basic and boring level design. And they're basically just repeats of assets and level design they had in other levels, just they, you know, turn the camera a little bit, and it stands out a lot. It's really hard to, you know, go through the same level 3 times with 3 different characters and not notice how similar it actually is, even if you change the camera's perspective. Generations did boost right. Unleashed almost got it down, but the Werehog exists. Yep. Colors is pretty good, but there's just too much 2D, and yeah, Forces is painfully uninteresting. I kind of liked Colors personally, but yeah, I do agree. There's too much 2D sections, and the Wisps are kind of hit or miss for me. I think Generations' boost levels are the closest. I do kind of enjoy them. I don't think they're really anything too special, but I do enjoy them. That seems to be like the big crux of a lot of like modern Sonic games, is like they just need to focus on like a core idea, and, you know, not try to do a million different play styles in the same game. Sonic is such a mishandled series, they actually have no idea what they are doing with him and clearly not giving him enough budget and time. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they took a good amount of time for Sonic Frontiers, which has been getting mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I mean, that's kind of true of every Sonic game, so. Lost World draws ire from Sonic fans for failing to make either the dramatic or comedic beats work and being a Mario clone? Huh. I don't know. It looks... I don't know. It's kind of an interesting take on platforming. It actually kind of reminds me more of like that Sonic Extreme demo that was on the Saturn that they, you know, they never finished. I think they ended up going in a completely different direction, but it seems like that was they had a similar starting point. Unleashed was the first 3D boost game, but the first was Sonic Rush. Yep, that's true. I did like the Rush games. How hard is it to delay a Sonic game? They keep not giving their games enough time to cook. Yeah, I think it's just, you know, it's kind of like Pokemon. Like, they don't have, like, a new game out every once in a while. Like, you know, people forget about it. And, well, they don't really forget about Sonic, but I don't know. I think it's all just marketing. You got to stay relevant. Jim Sterling said Sonic Frontiers was the worst game of Sonic 2020 or of Sonic 22 of game of 2022, literally only because Sonic fans don't like them. It's very spiteful. That totally sounds like a Jim Stephanie Sterling move. I haven't watched Jim Sterling in a long time. Alright, what time is it? I guess we got a half hour here. It won't take me that long to recollect all the notes, I hope. I'll keep glancing at the chat and try to stay up with it. This is the sassy stream. I like it. Sonic Frontiers isn't an open world game. Why are people saying that? It's not? I thought it was. Is it kind of like Pokemon Legends Arceus, where like it's like a series of sandboxes, and the marketing calls it open world? I thought it was open world, but again, I haven't played it, so. Every now and then I check into Jim, but they've only gotten angrier and angrier, making for mostly unpleasant, rancid videos. Yeah, that was kind of why I used to be really into Jim's videos, and yeah, they started talking about, and I'm not against people having this opinion, like, people are open to whatever opinions, but I don't know, they kept talking about how everything wrong with video games could be tied back to capitalism, and, you know, I don't know, that's true to a certain extent, but it's not the only thing wrong with video games, and mentioning it all the time it got a little tiresome. That's why I ended up unsubscribing a few years ago. It's not so much, like, I don't mind when people have a different opinion from me, obviously. You know, clearly not all of us agree here, but that's fine. That's what makes for interesting discussions. But I find it very tiresome when people feel the need to reinforce their opinion over and over and over again, unsolicited. Oh, you know what? Here's the 8 notes I was missing too. Damn it. Where are those boots at? I just realized Mumbo's not in this level, is he? I kind of forgot about that. It's not in Rusty Bucket Bay either. Alright, let's get these notes. Yay, bokum. I don't really blame Jim for being more negative because it has only gotten so much worse because there were not a lot of good Western AAA games last year. That's true. I mean, yeah, they're not wrong, you know, about having... I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I'm so fed up with the game industry, it sickens me, but... I feel like there's still enough good in the game industry and video games in general that you don't just need to focus on the negative. But I feel like negativity gets the clicks, and, you know, I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to rely on money from this channel to survive, thank God. But these are not the shoes I wanted to grab. I wanted to grab the boots. So I can understand if, like, if your livelihood depends on how well your channel performs, and maybe that's not the case. I mean, I know Jim has a very sizable Patreon, and good for them. But, I don't know. I see why there's so many negative videos out there, is I guess what I was getting at, because negativity gets the clicks, and if your livelihood depends on traffic going to your channel or your blog or whatever the case may be, it's a pretty good incentive to be negative from time to time, especially if you're struggling financially and you're already in a negative mood and you need to vent about something that's pissing you off anyway. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I am saying it is understandable. It's an unfortunate reality of the internet. Sterling may cry. Nice. You could say that again. Saying that Sonic Frontiers is the worst game of 2022 is a far stretch in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, haven't played it, but based on what I've seen, there's no way it's the worst game of 2022. I can kind of appreciate the trolling there that's going on, because I also have a love-hate relationship with the Sonic fandom, so I can kind of understand, like, you know, wanting to, like, troll certain people that watch your audio or watch your videos, but probably not a good long-term strategy. But I do think if you're going to be, you know, if you're going to call yourself a video game critic, you shouldn't do stuff like that just, you know, just because it does hurt your credibility, and, you know. And I think that's, like, a really important thing when it comes to, let's call it the critic-viewer relationship. You should be able to disagree with the game critics that you follow, or the art critics you follow, let's just say, and feel like they're at least coming from a genuine place, rather than, you know, from trying to be, I don't know, being disingenuous or something like that. You should be able to disagree with them without feeling like they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or they're, you know, trying to play a joke on you or something like that, because I feel like there's kind of a certain level of trust, especially if you're telling people, like, you know, play this or don't play this or something like that. I don't know. I would feel awful. That's kind of why I take, like, a middling stance on everything, and I say, or at least I try. I don't know if I'm always successful at it, but I try to tell people what I thought of it, and then still come away with, you know, some positivity at the end of the day. Again, don't know if I've always done that. I'm sure I've failed at some point. I've been doing this for 15 years, so... But that's at least, you know, something in my mind, is I want people to be able to trust my opinion, you know, even if they disagree with it. And know that I gave everything gave everything a fair shake before I judged it, or passed judgment upon it. But then again, I'm small potatoes, man. So what do I know? I don't know. Maybe that's not. Maybe that's why the channel doesn't grow very fast. Is because you only grow fast when you're super negative and you follow trends and stuff like that. Who's to say? Are there notes in here? There's probably notes in here. Blah, 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 blah. I was kind of disappointed by Frontiers, but even I know it wasn't the worst game of 2022. Yeah, I don't know if I played many bad games. I didn't get to play a lot of new releases last year because I was busy remodeling my house for most of the year. So I think that's a how am I doing on notes here? 81. Where am I forgetting? Oh, I still got King Sandybutt's place, right. I love and still love video from angry reviewer era like Spoonie AVGN, but I do prefer happy reviewer like Geek Critique. I do like me some Geek Critique. And Dude and Nitro Rad. What the fuck happened there? Game Scope? How did that turn on? Huh! I didn't even hit anything on the controller. That just turned itself on. The chat's kind of covering it up, so I'm gonna leave it, but yeah, up in the upper left-hand corner, this thing just popped up for, like, no reason. Weird. Oh no, everybody knows I'm playing on an emulator. Oh darn. The hell was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh, we're talking about, yeah, happy reviews. Happy reviews are good. Angry reviews were good for their time, but they're a little passé now. A little cheesy, if you will. Are there notes over there? I can't tell because of the draw distance. I don't think there are. King Sandybutt, which is in the pyramid. Channels grow fast if they're funny, and let's admit seeing people get irrationally angry over stuff like games is funny. I mean, I used to find it funny. I don't find it funny so much anymore. Mostly just because I've seen it before, and I feel like comedy is best when it's novel. I don't know. I don't think you need to be funny for your channel to grow. I think you just need to get any emotional reaction out of people. Which, you know, my channel can be a little academic at times, I will admit, but that's kind of what I'm into, so I don't want to change just because, you know, the channel's not growing. Which, actually, that's not true. As of this week, it is growing, so I could be happy with that. What's over here? There's some notes over here. Oh, there's feathers over here. God, Goomba was right. This is anxiety music. Jesus. 86. I think the stream has gone mute, or it's just me. No, it's just me. Okay, good. Well, I mean, that thing in the corner did just pop up, so I thought maybe, like, it broke the audio, too. Angry reviews got clicks back in the day, but the tides have turned. People just want personality-driven quality content over in-depth video essays. Yeah. Frontiers definitely isn't the worst game of 2022, though that just means there were so many worse games that year. I don't think I'm over Halo Infinite and the 10,000 layoffs at 343? Jesus. I can relate with the audio going out. You know, I'm glad I jumped in there because I totally did not remember that there was a Jinjo in there. Even though I probably could have heard him, but, you know. Okay. Where the hell are the rest of the notes? What the hell? I went in there. I got all those. I went to the bottom of the water. Got all the... Oh, I know where they're at. I didn't go back inside the Sphinx. And there's probably some at the beginning I missed. I think I have 12 more? I'm glad your console... I'm glad your console and coffee are getting more views, but I'm going to run out of title puns. Yeah, I was wondering when you'd run out. I was surprised you made it as far as you did with the puns. You had some really good ones. Systems and stimulants was probably my favorite one. Yeah, shorts are nice. I mean, they're kind of weird at the same time. One, they're a lot of fun to make, so I'm gonna keep making them. And two, they bring a lot of traffic to the channel. I can't argue with that, you know. I've gotten like 30-some subscribers in the past few weeks just from my shorts alone. And then, yeah, you know. And some of those people have gone on and watched my, like, Super Mario Brothers 2 video I did that, you know, took me a year and a half to make, and... Oh, come on, get in there. And that feels good. And like I said, they're a lot of fun to make, so... Why not? And I can make one in a day and not feel like I, you know... Not feel like I half-assed it, but feel like I actually, you know, did a bang-up job on something. Because that's what I hate the most, is when, you know, I feel like I rush something out. Like, because then I'm never happy with it. Then it just sits on my channel. It makes me, you know, uncomfortable on how much I half-assed something for the remainder of time. But it's hard to, like, half-ass a short video because, you know, they're short. And I'm also very long-winded, so usually. I don't think there are any more notes in here, right? No. There is a Jinjo, though. I can hear him. Now I just gotta find the yellow Jinjo. Then I need how many more notes? 7. The frick are they? Da, 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 da. Are they over here? Ah, there's the Jinjo. Okay, well, then we just gotta find 7 notes. Don't you dare hit that frickin' pad. Yeah. The thing in the corner is FPS counter, though. You must have a keybind because it does not show randomly like this. I mean, I don't have a keyboard hooked up to my my Steam Deck. I just have my controller. There's probably a don't hit the pad. There's probably a button combination that can bring it up. But I literally wasn't touching my controller at the time because I set it down to grab my seltzer. So, I don't know. It's not really covering the game any, so I'm just going to leave it. I'll figure it out before next stream. We know that the GPU is at 22% right now, so that's nice to know. I haven't told you guys about... Oh, aren't the coffee and games breaking 1.5k views? That's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, shorts are weird. So I did a test, and it kind of depends. The first time I uploaded a short, it only got like 300 views, which actually is a decent amount because that's, you know, about the max I typically get with views on my videos. 2 to 300 is, you know, that's a good release for me, typically. So the first one I uploaded got like 400 views, so I'm like, oh, hey, that's pretty good. But then the second one I uploaded got like 1,500, and I'm like, whoa! And then I uploaded a trailer for my Super Mario Bros. 2 video. It went on the shorts shelf, only got 300 views. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it down, and then it died. And then I'm gonna take it down and upload it again, and see what happens. And that time it got like over 2,000 views. So, yeah, shorts are weird. They kind of like peak really fast, and then they just dead for the rest of time, is what it sounds like. Which, you know, fine. I guess that's fine. They don't grow. It doesn't seem like, at least mine don't, or haven't yet. It doesn't seem like they grow organically over time like long-form videos do. Where the hell are these 7 other notes? Come on. I'm tired of Gobi's Valley. I already went on top of the Sphinx. I already got these. I think I got the underwater ones, right? Pretty sure I did. How long is the stream gonna go? Not that I'm bored or something, but getting a bit tired. About 13 more minutes. I usually cut it around 5 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, whatever that equates to, wherever you're at. It'll be 5 o'clock for me. I might go a little longer, just depends. I would like to finish Gobi's Valley and Freeze Easy Peak before we call it, so this stream might run a little bit long, but where the hell are these other notes at? Like, what? Alright, time to go for a fly. I got the ones in the sand down here, right? Yes, absolutely. Does this game have drowning music like Sonic? No, it just has game over music when you die. Underwater. I think it's the same game over music. Okay. No notes. Did I go in all the buildings? I went in that one. I went in that one. And I went in that one. And I went in that one. What the frick? Come on, we got 7 notes left. Where are they? They gotta be all right together. Went in there. Oh, you know what? I bet they're on the land right here? No. Is next stream gonna be another Banjo stream, or are we going back to retro game hopping? I don't know. What do you guys think? I am up for either. I could play some more Banjo-Kazooie, or we could go back to retro game hopping. What do you guys think? You want to see more Banjo? You want more retro game hopping? Do you not care? Again, I'm up for whatever. It does seem like it's taking longer to beat levels in this. But, I mean, that's alright, too. We've still been having the same amazing discussions that we always have, so... Oh my god, where are these notes at? Does this game have quicksand? Well, kinda. If you land in that, it hurts, but it doesn't kill you. Let me just go for a ride here. What the... Oh, there they are. Jesus. Are you kidding me? What the hell? I'm missing 2? Oh my god. I'm up for game hopping or banjo. Okay. That's a vote for, doesn't matter. Okay, I gotta tell you guys about my experience with Mario Kart DS. Played it a few days ago, I think properly for the first time. I love the drifting and stuff. It aged pretty good, actually. Yeah, I haven't played that one too much, but the couple times I did play it, I enjoyed it. 2 notes. Kind of want to go back to retro game hopping. Want to see what PS2 games you have, and then how the Steam Deck works with the disc drive. Well, I don't have a disc drive yet, but I could order one and have one here by next week. And I'm sure they're cheap these days. How am I missing 2? Did I, like, overlook 2 in this pyramid? That's gotta be... Oh, you know what? I bet they're... I hit the mic again. I bet they're in King Sandy Butt's tomb. Banjo is fun, but wandering around is a little tiresome. Let's do retro game hopping next week. Yeah, I agree. I am getting a little tiresome of wandering around looking for notes. Not gonna lie. I am going to finish Gobi's Valley and Freeze Easy Peak, so if we do want to come back at some point, we can start fresh. That would be nice. But yeah, I think we should do some retro game hopping next week. It's been 2 weeks. Alright, King Sandy Butt's tomb. They gotta be in here. Yeah, because a moment like this, with downtime in the retro game hopping streams, we would have just hopped to another game by now, but... I gotta be careful, because I think if you die here, I'm gonna have to collect them all again. But, if I die here, I'm just done. So... Oop. Alright, I don't maybe they're not in here, dang. Ugh. Yeah, I'm getting a little fed up with this too, come to think of it. Now can I explore the... Wow, that sucks. I don't think they're in here. And the anxiety music in here doesn't help. Nope, got eggs. Yeah, I'm thinking well, good on them for not putting notes in here, in the maze itself. This is why you need to play the Xbox version. Yes, absolutely. That's not on Steam, is it? It should be. I don't think it is. They really need to bring it to modern hardware. Okay. They're somewhere. Disk drives cost around 10 to 20 Australian dollars, so that's even cheaper in American currency. Yeah, that's like, what, 10, 15 bucks? Something like that? Yeah. I realize that I might not be the biggest fan of platformers that I need to explore. It's not that I don't like them, but a game with an A-B structure is much preferred for me. I could see that. Maybe you could hack your Steam Deck so you have a file with completed Gobi and Freeze. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I have save states. We're done. I kind of forgot. Shows how much how used to emulation I am. So, oh, we got 5 minutes left. Jeez. I cannot believe that I'm missing 2 freaking notes. I mean, that's kind of the Banjo-Kazooie experience, if we're being honest. It's not a knock against the game, but... I'm pretty sure I got them all up here. Right, save states. Save states are your friend, everyone. Banjo. What are you doing to me? I'm hopping out 5 minutes early. It was a good stream. Bye, guys. Bye, Fungi. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna... I'll stick around for a few more minutes, but I think I've had my fill of Banjo. Alright, next week we're gonna go back to some retro game hopping. I think, because, yeah, that got a little tiresome at the end, not gonna lie. But that's okay. Yeah. This exact same situation happened to me several times. It wears you down. So though I can say I like Banjo-Kazooie and it's a decent game, I can't say I love it. I do love it, but I will admit a lot of that's probably nostalgia speaking, if I'm being honest, because, yeah, it was a very formative game for me, and although I still quite like it, it's not a perfect game, not by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, we're definitely going to go back to retro game hopping next week. I'll see if I can get a disk drive for some PS2 games next week. I'll bring my whole freaking PS2 library up here in my bedroom. That'll be nice. Oh, we can play Guitaru Man. Oh, man. I haven't played that game in a while. I love that game. Save states are like cheap prescription drugs. They're probably bad for you, but they do help. Nice. I love it. So, yeah. I guess I don't know too much else. I'm gonna get back to work on some videos and stuff like that. Nostalgia is a powerful and cruel mistress. True that. And then I'm probably going to finish Dead Space tonight because I wanted to replay that fresh for the remake, which might be the opposite of what you want to do when a remake comes out. But I don't know. I like comparing and contrasting stuff. And apparently I have a lot to say about remakes and reboots and graphical remakes. And that's another big thing. Is like everybody has like a slightly different definition of what a remake even is. But I don't know, based on our lengthy discussion at the beginning of the stream earlier, it seems like there's a lot of ground to cover, so I think a video is in order. It might be worth talking about. Yeah. I got a video I'm working on now, which is small review for a little game that came out last week, Children of Silent Town, which was a nice little point-and-click adventure game that I quite enjoyed. Got its problems, but that's okay. And then next week, I don't know what I'm doing for a video next week. That might be an off the cuff on remakes. We'll see. Maybe you could do Jack 1 next stream. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, if I could get that I'm not sure how I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to be able to get the whole disk drive thing working, but I could probably rip some of my PS2 games and stick them on the SD card, so that'd probably work too. Sounds good about next week. Can you explain some of your upcoming projects? Also, yes, please, Guitar Man. Well, I don't want to go too in depth with my projects because everything's subject to change, and I do tend to shit can things a lot, so I don't want to disappoint people, but I'm definitely the Super Mario Bros. 2 video that I released on Friday is the direction I'm going in the channel. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do every video in that style because, again, that took me like a year and a half. I could probably make that video in like 2 or 3 months now, knowing what I know, and having learned the skills that I needed to complete that game. But yeah, I'm going to start working on another one of those, another Adventures in Game Criticism episode. And then I've been wanting to do another Romani's Mini Arcade video for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. I have a couple scripts ready to go, but I just haven't gotten around to it for whatever reason. But yeah, my ideal way I want to approach things is I want to do like a small video. I want to do my console and coffee video every week, obviously. But then I want to do like a smaller review on Fridays about like a recent release or like an off the cuff video that's like, you know, a more like something more modern. But then while I'm doing that stuff, work on bigger videos like my Super Mario Brothers 2 video, so that like every couple of months we have like a big video like that, you know, has a lot of production value into it and a lot of like, you know, creative work and stuff like that. So, because that's what I really want to make, but it's not realistic for me to maintain a YouTube channel and grow a YouTube channel if I disappear for 3 months at a time. Unfortunately, I've tried that in the past and it never works. So, but yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe you could do Jack 1 next stream. Oh, I read that already. I would like to do that. Yeah, I'm not sure about the disk drive thing. Never tried using a disk drive for PS2 emulation. I just ripped copies of my game. Yeah. Oh, the demo just went over on emulation station, scared the crap out of me. But yeah, and I'm not sure how that works because I'd have to plug it into my Steam Deck, and I'm not sure how you like route like, you know, your directory for the emulator on the Steam Deck to the disk drive. So we'll see. I'll probably just end up ripping some games, honestly. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it. Probably going to cover the same things the Gaming Brit said in his video about remakes, but I'm down to watch your video. Nice. I haven't watched his video on that. I used to watch Gaming Brit's videos a lot back in the day, but I haven't watched him in a while, so. All right, well, I think that covers it. Thank you all for joining me for some more Banjo-Kazooie. Sorry it got a little tiresome at the end there. It got a little tiresome for me too, but hey, that's Banjo-Kazooie. We had fun. Lots of good discussions on the Sassy stream today. So, all right. I think that's it. I'll see y'all next week for some more retro game hopping because we're going to go back to that. So thanks again, everybody. Come on.